season overall. This is 6th year as a head coach, though he spent 5 seasons as the head coach at Charlotte. Cavaliers and the Cavaliers' Jacob Cofie get us started here in Charlottesville tonight. The Irish, wearing the navy blue, get the football or the basketball first. Listen to me, I'm thinking of Monday night again.
Oh, that's okay. Here's
Burton, center of the floor. Alako is the Princeton transfer. Shrewsbury, the coach's son. Cavaliers back for Braden Shrewsbury's drive. 5 to shoot for the Irish, and Alako fall away on the baseline is short. And the rebound scooped up. Rhodey tried to pitch it ahead, and quite frankly, Tae Davis was not ready for it.
Well, he was all alone, Wes. He was all alone. When you're running down the court and nobody's around you, you got to be looking for the ball.
And here's the Irish starting lineup, of course, headlined by Burton. Dan mentioned Tae Davis. Keep an eye on Matt Alako as well. He's a guy that if he plays well, Notre Dame usually is in a pretty good spot to win the game. Cavaliers, as expected, open and tight defense. Cofie deflected, 10 to shoot. Here's Burton on the drive, and they crash the glass and touched last by Notre Dame.
Wes, those were 2 outstanding defensive possessions for the University of Virginia. And that's tough if you got to play 2 defensive possessions before you get the ball.
Yep. And front court comes the Kansas State transfer, Tae Davis, sophomore from Chicago. He works with Elijah Saunders, who transferred from San Diego State. Jacob Cofie is a freshman from Seattle. Andrew Rhodey and Isaac McNeely, returners to the Virginia lineup, of course. Rhodey with 10 to shoot. Foul line area, Cofie the catch and shoot. And the rebound pulled away by Alako, and boy, nice save by Jai.
That's a break for the Irish.
Yep, that ball bounced a couple times uncontested.
Virginia had Saunders alone against Burton, and they missed him.
Shrewsbury, jump shot away, last touched, and Nathan Farrell will award it to the Irish, a fresh 20. Nathan Farrell, Ron Groover, Jerry Heater on the whistle here tonight in Charlottesville. And Markus Shrewsbury only has 2 wins in his ACC coaching career at Notre Dame. He's winless in 4 games. The Irish have lost their last 7 ACC road games. Their last road win a year ago, last February, at Louisville. There's a rebound by Jai, and a foul whistled after the miss. It'll stay with the Irish.
Wes, both Ron Sanchez and Micah Shrewsbury told us earlier today that the extra possessions were going to be vitally important. And Notre Dame has now created 2 extra possessions with offensive rebounds. Virginia's defense has been outstanding, but you can't keep giving the other team the ball.
Blake Buchanan, a quick entry into the lineup, sophomore from Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. And Buchanan playing about 19 minutes a game against the league. He will check in. And meanwhile, Burton and Ames renewing ties, and Jerry Heater steps in to make sure everybody's okay. And the Irish, almost 2 minutes in, we're still scoreless. There goes Burton on the drive, comes to a stop, puts it up, draws the foul from Ames. That'll be the first on Tae Davis, second on Virginia. And Markus Burton, who does some of his best work at the free throw line. When you think tonight's his 12th game, Dan, this will be his 50th free throw.
Wow, that's one of the things he does. He gets by you, and that's where Ames made the mistake. Once he gets his head and shoulders by you out on the perimeter, then he gets down in the lane. He can shoot that little floater, the pull-up jump shot, or as you mentioned, he's excellent at drawing fouls.
Yep, 86% free throw shooter. He is now 44 of 51 on the year. He's hit 20-plus in his last 3 and 4 of his last 5. Saunders, now McNeely against Shrewsbury. Double team there. They tried to get it to Buchanan. Stolen Alako. 3-on-2 for the Irish, and here's Tae Davis. Leaves it out front for Burton's 3, and it's good. Markus Burton's got Notre Dame's first foul.
Offensive rebounds, turnovers that lead to basket. They have been 2 of the bugaboos for Virginia all season long.
Buchanan for McNeely. He'll try and fire for 3 and hit. Well, Isaac McNeely picking up from where he left off on Tuesday night against Boston College. Boy, he was terrific in here against the Eagles, by the way.
Boy, he sure wasn't. He was pretty wide open right there, Wes. That is not what Markus Shrewsbury's game plan is.
Burton back for Alako. Here's Davis. drive on Saunders, and it rolls out.
Tae Davis is one of the most aggressive players on the offensive end in the ACC. He's going to take the ball and attack.
Out front, Elijah Saunders against Davis. Rhodey off the switch. Now back to Saunders. There's the double team. Boy, Notre Dame chasing the double pretty quick. Now Ames with 5 to shoot. Step back 3. Bounds away. Alako does a nice job getting the rebound for the Irish.
Virginia has handled that double team very poorly 2 times now, Wes.
Look how hard Burton has to work just to get the ball, Dan, at times against the Cavaliers, right?
Well, that's that you want to keep the ball out of his hands, because once he gets it, he can really hurt you.
Alako with 10 to drive, or 10 to shoot on the drive, and the fall away. And the rebound for Saunders, who's coming in, averaging 5.4 rebounds a game. That leads the Cavaliers. Here's Buchanan against Kemajai. Virginia, one of their first 3. Notre Dame, one of their first 7 from the floor. Rhodey a step in 2. And Jai pulls it away. Buchanan trying to help Ames. Davis again. Alako for Burton. 3 ball away, right of the circle. Good, and a foul on Ames. Markus Burton has got 8. All 8 of Notre Dame's. Tae Ames is just
so good with the basketball. He can get in. Now this time they defend him well. He misses that, but he's still able to get down into the lane. And this is a situation where he gets down in there, draws the foul. Then, of course, he's a decent 3-point shooter, particularly when he can step into it.
Yep. Here's the other thing. He's raised his 3-point shooting, Dan, by a full 5% from a year ago.
Well, this is a kid who works hard on his game, Wes, and when he's able to shoot the 3 effectively, that means you got to push out on him harder. And when you do that, that just plays right into his hands, because he can go right by you.
And out of the timeout, he's got a chance to give Notre Dame the rare 4-point play and post his 9th point here in this first half.
Wes, interestingly enough, Ames out of the game now. They bring in Tae Murray. It'll be interesting to see who draws the matchup against Burton.
Right.
Burton would have a quickness advantage over anybody who's in the game for the Cavaliers.
So he's got 2 threes and 3 of 3 line shooting, and a 9-point performance for Markus Burton, and a 6-point Notre Dame lead. Saunders for Buchanan. Dribble handoff for Rhodey. Nice cut, Buchanan, and Alako able to strip it out of there. Roper's got the carom. And here's the Irish again on the attack.
After a turnover.
So how many extra possessions? Keep that thought in mind as we unfold here tonight, because it very may well indicate who wins as Matt Alako knocks down the baseline jump shot.
And so far the Irish are getting those extra possessions, and they are converting them.
And J.R. Konechny has gone to the table for Notre Dame. So Tae Ames is on the Virginia bench because of fouls. That brought Murray in. Here's Saunders at 3, and a front rim miss. Cleaned up by Roper.
And of course, Virginia is not a very good offensive rebounding team. They like to drop back and set their defense. So if you're going to take those shots, you're going to have to make a fairly high percentage of them, and the Cavaliers are only 1 for 5.
Here's Davis. Kick out for Burton. Against Rhodey on the drive. Now Alako slashes through. He'll feed Jai. Keva up strong. Can't get the bucket. Buchanan the backside rebound. Rhodey using the Buchanan screen. Here's Murray, the young man from New Zealand, now in his senior campaign here at Virginia.
The Irish have done a nice job switching in their man-to-man, and Virginia haven't been able to solve it.
McNeely a bounce through Rhodey. Now Murray open. Missed the 3 from the corner. Tae is just 8 of 24 this year. Virginia, one of their first 7.
I think if you're Virginia, you'll take that shot every time. Great ball movement, but you got to put it in the goal.
Look at Davis work hard in traffic against Saunders. Bounce through for Roper. He'll shove it to Jai. And now Roper a long 2 is good. Julian Roper, a 31% 3-point shooter, and knocks down the bucket that pushes it back to 11 at 14-3, Dan. Good heavens. So Roper, the jump shot, his third three of the year for the Fighting Irish. Back with Dan Bonner, West Durham and Charlottesville. Notre Dame off to a terrific start. We noted that Markus Burton missed 7 ball games, Dan. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Those 1-point losses at NC State and against Carolina and South Bend just pop off the page, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And one of the things with Markus Burton missing 7 games, it's really hard for the Irish to evaluate this Irish team. You know, everybody knows that you got to make adjustments when a guy goes out, but you got to make adjustments when a guy comes back. And they lost those couple of 1-point games right after Burton returned. It's just tough to get him back in the lineup and get everybody flowing again.
Shrewsbury's gone to the bench, as has Alako. Julian Roper's come in, and we get our first look at Nikita Konstantinovsky off the bench, and we get a whistle and a foul with 12 to shoot, and the foul is going to be on Julian Roper, the senior from Detroit, his first on the Irish. So
the Irish have been very aggressive defensively. It's been hard for Virginia to get many open opportunities.
And a 3 by McNeely is good. Boy. Wow. You don't want to leave the door cracked long for Isaac McNeely, do you?
Well, Davis switched onto McNeely, but then he dropped off, and McNeely doesn't need much room.
Nope. Here's Davis, and a nice job by Cofie to reach in and knock it out of bounds. Here's another look. Look how the window is very quick.
Well, it wasn't all that quick, Wes. Davis had a chance to get out there, but he hung back. You don't worry about McNeely driving past you. You get out and make him drive past you.
McNeely now 8 of 11 in his last 2 ball games from behind the line. Pair of threes already tonight. Here's Konechny, left side for Roper. Slides into traffic, skip back for Konechny. Back rim miss. Buchanan the rebound. And here's McNeely front court for the Cavaliers, who trail by 8. Buchanan for Cofie. Murray on the bounce pass. Rhodey skips to the corner. McNeely another 3. Sure. Wow. He's got all the Virginia points.
They really ought to consider guarding him.
A very Bonner-like start for Isaac McNeely, by the way. 5-point lead for the Irish. Now Burton trying to see if he can respond for Notre Dame here.
That's a good job by Buchanan, making him stop.
Burton clutched on the bounce, fall away over Murray. Fell off the rim. We get a whistle and a foul. It'll be on Notre Dame and send us to a timeout. But the Cavaliers trail by 5. And Isaac McNeely is carrying Virginia. He's got all their points, and they're all from behind the line. The latest from the Bonosphere
game to make that 5 out of 6. But during that 5-game losing streak, Ron Sanchez's guys shot 27% from beyond the arc. And if this is a Virginia team, the way they're built, they just can't do that. They have to make threes. What did Markus Shrewsbury tell us this morning? They make threes, we're in trouble. We got to stop them from making threes.
Logan Imes has come into the Notre Dame lineup. Didn't play in the ball game a week ago at Syracuse. Played 6 minutes at Georgia Tech. No points in his last 3 appearances. Rhodey an air ball. Wow. And the Cavaliers trailing by 5 send it the other way. So you've got Notre Dame into the bench here a little bit. Imes is in the lineup. So is Sir Muhammad, the freshman from Myers Park High School in Charlotte, along with Kebajai, Matt Alako, and Braden Shrewsbury's back in. And meanwhile, Virginia's got Tae Ames back on the floor now, playing with the 2 fouls with McNeely, Taine Murray, Cofie, and Blake Buchanan.
That's because Burton is out of the game.
Alako with 12 to shoot out front. Kebajai. Now here's Muhammad for Imes. On the drive against Ames. Shrewsbury, shot clock winding down. Alako spins out a three. Jai will be called for the over the back. First on Kebajai, it'll be the second on the Irish.
Wes, each of these teams has played really well on the defensive end. That was another very good defensive possession by Virginia, and they were able to secure the rebound.
It's almost like one guy moves a chess piece, the other guy moves a chess piece.
Absolutely.
Yep. So Ames, by the way, staying on the floor with the 2 fouls here. Remember, Tae Ames is averaging about 6 a game. There's Cofie in traffic. A win against Imes if he can score it. Cannot tap. Follow good.
Now Virginia made that basket, but Cofie caught that ball inside. There were 3 guys around him. Isaac McNeely was alone in the corner. The ball has to go out of there and go to the corner.
First guy other than McNeely to score for the Cavaliers. Here's Shrewsbury spinning in traffic. Missed badly on the jumper. It hit the foot of Jai. It'll go to Virginia.
This is a Virginia basket. Both McNeely and Murray are wide open out on the perimeter. With 3 guys around you, you don't necessarily need to force it up in there. Now, that was a good play, a strong play, but it wasn't the right play.
8-0 run by the Cavaliers in the last 3 minutes. So despite what is really poor shooting here early, Virginia a 3 to tie here.
Their defense has kept them in the game.
McNeely thought about it. Back for Ames.
I think McNeely always thinks about it.
And dreams of it leaving his hand. And here it goes for the tie. Spins out. Rebound Jai. Logan Ames front court. Imes rather front court. Alako. Got it. Matt Alako. Mush, as he's known as. His 33rd 3 of the year.
Well, he's a very good 3-point shooter, Wes.
17-11, Irish by 6. Notre Dame has hit 4 threes. They average just less than 8 a game. Cofie a triple. Back rim, Alako the rebound.
He can make a 3, Wes, but he's only 32 or 23% from out there. I don't think that's a good shot.
20 to shoot. Shrewsbury a 3. And Muhammad challenged the rebound, got deflected out. Notre Dame will get a second chance. Back for Sir Muhammad out of the corner. And his struggle from 3-point territory. Now 3 of 15 is the freshman this season. On the drive, Ames thought about it. Here's McNeely. Working against Muhammad. Tae Murray with 12 to shoot. Now here's Ames. And he threw it out in the midcourt area. 3 to shoot. Murray's got it. He'll throw it toward the glass. Saunders had it taken away by Alako. Six-point lead for the Irish.
Virginia, of course, has stayed in the man-to-man, and they've played pretty well for the most part.
Yep, Notre Dame is 28%. Virginia's 29%. Jai trying to beat Cofie to the point at the baseline with the right hand. And we'll get another foul. Nope, touched out of bounds. It'll stay with Notre Dame. Buchanan and Rhodey check in for the Cavaliers. And here comes Burton and Tae Davis back for Markus Shrewsbury.
You talk about extra possessions, Wes, and maybe you don't need extra possessions, just possessions. There were 3 Cavaliers around that basketball, and they couldn't control it. And so Notre Dame gets the extra possession.
We have seen Notre Dame play 9, Dan, 10.
Yes.
We've seen Virginia play 8 here in the opening 12 minutes. Shrewsbury. Back rim, Boy, Davis almost tapped it in, still gets the rebound and scores. First field goal for Tae Davis.
Tae Davis, we talked about his aggressiveness, and it was on display right there. But Power had the ball in his hands, and Davis just took it away.
Lead is back to 8 now for Virginia, or for Notre Dame. The Virginia drought is better than 2.5 minutes old. There's Rhodey, floats it up. Got his own rebound. Rhodey can't finish. Davis the rebound.
That was not a good possession for the Cavaliers.
There goes Tae Davis, and one on the Buchanan foul. Second field goal for Davis. Buchanan, his first foul.
Wes, you have a bad possession on offense, it almost invariably turns into an easy transition opportunity on the other end. Davis is really battled inside. He knocks the ball away, recovers it, and scores for Notre Dame. And then the last time he's got an opportunity in transition, takes it. Notre Dame with a 10-point lead. A great game. I hope Janai Broome can play, and I hope he's healthy.
Yep. Well, Tae Davis is playing. He's got Notre Dame's last 2 field goals and a chance to cap a 3-point play. He is 77% at the free throw line and knocks down what is his 90th free throw made in 116 tries.
Well, he gets
5 for Davis.
Which I say, he's very aggressive on the offensive end, and he gets to the line.
He and Burton have got 14 of Notre Dame's 22. Irish have brought Burke Chebahur into the lineup, young man from Marietta, Georgia, who transferred from Lehigh.
It's going to be really hard for Virginia if the only guy really scoring is Isaac McNeely.
Yep.
He's got 11 of the 13 points.
9-point deficit for Virginia. Chebahur baseline. Spins out. He has not played in the last 5 games. Seeing action here tonight. Burton on the drive. Blocked from behind, out of bounds by Rhodey. 10 to shoot for Notre Dame.
Now, McNeely is a guy who wants to shoot the 3, but he's capable of taking it to the basket. And, you know, if you're Notre Dame, that's okay. Just get him off the 3-point line, make him shoot 2s.
Alako trying to put it in bounds. Does. Davis the catch and a foul.
No jump ball.
Jerry Heater calls the held ball. Possession will go to Virginia here. First turnover of the night on Notre Dame.
I thought Elijah Saunders was behind that play, Wes, but a really nice recovery.
Sure, absolutely. 6.5 to go. Here's Buchanan. Saunders inside against Burton. Can't finish. Tap follow good. First bucket for the Phoenix junior, Elijah Saunders.
And that's a mismatch that has been available a couple of times, and that's the first time Virginia really took advantage of it.
McNeely's 4 for 5, the rest of the team 2 for 14 in this first half. Burton, Chebahur out front. Here's Roper, a 3. Back rim and the rebound for Rhodey. Working off a Buchanan screen. Kick for McNeely's 3. Got it. 14 for McNeely. Markus Burton punches a timeout. Just like that, the Cavaliers to within 4 when we come back to Charlottesville. Well, Dan was here on Tuesday night when McNeely was on the proverbial burner. This is quite an encore to that, Dan.
Well, McNeely, I mean, keep in mind, Wes, that the Notre Dame game plan was to not let Isaac McNeely shoot 3s, and so far that hadn't worked out particularly well. He's made 4 from out there, and in the last 2 games he's gotten very hot.
Well, I'll say he is tearing it up here tonight. He's got 14 in this first half of Virginia's 18.
But again, and the amazing thing about that is that Notre Dame's defense, their defensive game plan was to stop him from doing exactly that.
He's 10 of 14 from 3 in his last game and almost a half. Here is Davis. Nice spin against Saunders. Couldn't finish.
Great help by Buchanan that time. And Davis, when he takes the ball to the basket, he's not looking to pass it. So nice job by Buchanan to leave Jai and help out.
There's a bounce pass. They quickly get it for Saunders. Out of the corner, that's Power left it on the rim. TJ Power into the lineup. He played 11 minutes the other night in the win against Boston College. Quick look in. Jai the catch in the flush.
Now, Jai doesn't really give you a lot of offense, but you can't leave him alone because he can do that.
Back to a 6-point Notre Dame advantage. Under 5 we go in this first half. Saunders missed, and Jai the rebound. Alako in the Irish. Shrewsbury. Nice ball screen to get it to Brayton. Into traffic with a right hand, and it rolls around and drops. Brayton Shrewsbury's first points. Dan Heat comes in averaging almost 15 a game. He's the 13th best scorer in the ACC.
Now, Virginia's done a nice job on him so far, but he's been patient. He hadn't forced things.
Yep.
Power's going to get a few more minutes today because Sharma is out with an illness.
Yep, Ishan Sharma missing the lineup tonight. Buchanan missed badly, a wide open shot right in the paint.
When you miss shots like that, that allows the other team to get down and go.
Burton skips it quickly. Look at the ball movement here. Shrewsbury back for Alako. And Davis with 15 to shoot. Tae on the drive around Buchanan, scores. 7 now for Tae Davis in this opening half.
Wes, when you get ball movement like that, you're going to move the defense around, get the defenders out of position, and that creates a driving lane. And we said Davis is a guy who really likes to go to the basket.
Notre Dame had an 8-0 run. Virginia 7-0 run. Now the Irish are back on a 6-0 run. McNeely to end the run. Can't, misses the 3, and Alako the rebound. 10-point lead now for Notre Dame. They've hit their last 3 shots from the floor.
Every time Virginia gets close, Notre Dame spurts away again.
And Burton hits the 4th straight bucket for the Irish, and it's another 3. He's got a dozen now on 3 triples and 3 of 3 line shooting.
If he's going to make threes like that, he's going to be impossible to guard.
Biggest lead of the ball game now for Notre Dame at 13. Baseline, Buchanan the bucket.
Nice pass by McNeely. This is a real danger zone in this game for Virginia, West. They cannot let this thing get out of hand.
Look at Burton. Inside of 3 to go. And Tae Davis working with Saunders defending. Burton with 10 to shoot. Launches another and hits. Markus Burton. Wow.
Okay, what are you supposed to do if you're rookie? I mean, that was pretty good defense. Just better offense.
15 for Burton. The lead, its largest now, again at 14. Saunders. Now McNeely out front. Rhodey tries to help. 3 ball from in front of the Notre Dame bench is for Andrew Rhodey. His first points of the game, Dan.
And Rhodey can be a key player for Virginia.
Davis, under 2 minutes to go. Freshmen wait at the table, but we're going to get a break before that. And now the ball off Burton's foot. Hell ball. It'll belong to Notre Dame, but that'll get us to a timeout. Both teams could use a break here. Under 2 to go, and as of late, Markus Burton has been the fire starter for the Irish. 34-23 in favor of Notre Dame when we continue from Charlottesville after this. I don't know how you get your arms around all of it, Kevin, to be honest with you. We start at noon. We'll finish, I guess, around midnight tonight. Look forward to you and Coach and Huck at the break. Markus Burton's been driving the bus here for Micah Shrewsbury.
Oh, he's got 15.
Davis off the inbounds, right back for Shrewsbury. A path with the right-hand floater, good. Micah Shrewsbury now with a couple of field goals. And the Irish push it back to 13 with 95 seconds to go before the break. Well, what a half from Markus Burton. And for that matter, Isaac McNeely. Good thing we promoted him at the top of the broadcast tonight. Inside, that's Robinson to catch and score. Anthony Robinson, a freshman from Peachtree City, Georgia, who redshirted a year ago, gave him 4 points and 4 rebounds off the bench the other night, and gets a basket here.
That's twice now we've seen screens set for McNeely, and they attack McNeely off the screen, and he makes the bounce pass for a basket. And that was a tough play by Robinson.
Yep. Kevin Jai going to come out. He went down under the basket, took a bit of a spill. Nixon Dorvillian is the Notre Dame basketball trainer who looks after the 6'10 junior Jai. And here's Konechny back on the floor for the Irish. Shrewsbury catch and shoot three is short. And McNeely finally the rebound. Ames out front. Rhodey. Baseline. Slips it for Robinson. Tap follow no good. Shrewsbury finally collects.
Boy, Robinson did a great job getting position inside West, but when you're that size and you get that ball that close to the basket, you got to put it in the goal.
Yep. Burton. Konstantin Danovsky.
He didn't even look at the basket.
Nope. 10 to shoot, under a half minute to go. Burton on the drive. Kick out Shrewsbury. 3-ball good. 7 for Shrewsbury, and now the Irish open up a 14-point lead again. They've hit 7 of their last 8 from the floor.
They're getting great ball movement and great player movement, really making the Virginia defense work very hard.
Ames winding down the drive and bucket for Tae Ames, his first points. And that will send us to the locker room, but boy, Micah Shrewsbury, who's trying to, since the loss at Syracuse last Saturday, this feels like a really, really big 20 minutes of basketball for both schools. McNeely a 3 to start the half, a back rim miss, and
ball went over the backboard.
Yep, Ron Groover, Johnny on the spot, will award it to Notre Dame.
Now that was a tough 3. You know, that's the first one that he's taken today. He hadn't made them all up until this point, but that's the first one that he's taken that was really hotly contested.
If McNeely was at the top of Micah Shrewsbury's scouting report before the game, where do you think he was at halftime? On top of the whiteboard? At the very top, maybe on the wall? Here's Shrewsbury, an open 3, and the Irish start where they left off. 11 now, or 10 rather, on his 4th field goal for Micah Shrewsbury.
They are really taking advantage of mismatches, Wes. Davis drives into the lane. You got to guard him with a couple of guys. That leaves somebody open, and that time the open player was Shrewsbury.
Cofie, freshman from Seattle, high arcing jump shot, good. Right over the top of Kevin Jai goes Jacob Cofie.
I think if you're Notre Dame, that's okay. You know, that was a tough shot early in the shot clock. Virginia's got to get some turnovers. They have to tighten up on the defensive end.
Boy, Alaco's not going to let him rest.
Nope.
Second 3 of the night from Matt Alaco, and now the largest lead of the night for Notre Dame.
Now, we just talked about Virginia having to tighten up on the defensive end, and they're giving up 3s here to start the second half. And the danger for the Cavaliers is they might dig a hole too big to dig out of.
Yep. Here's Cofie squaring on Kevin Jai. Couple of spins and a follow in. It's good. Back-to-back field goals for Jacob Cofie.
And that's fine, Wes, except you can't trade 2 for 3.
He averaged 11.5 points out on the West Coast last week in games against Cal and Stanford.
Well, he's a young man that has some skills.
Shrewsbury, another 3. Spins off. Tae Ames the rebound, and here comes Rhodey in Virginia. Here's a pull-up by Ames, and Alako the rebound. Alako trying to fight for space in transition. In the corner, Shrewsbury. Back for Burton, another three. Bounces away. McNeely the rebound. Now remember, Notre Dame has lived and died a little bit this year with threes. And they turn it over that time, does Virginia, and Davis has it for the Irish.
But Notre Dame was fabulous in the first 15 minutes of their last game against Syracuse, and then not so much later on. And Virginia has to find a little magic here to get back in this game.
There's Alako with 10 to shoot now, backing down on Ames. Reverses pivot. Now in traffic, tries to squeeze it, and a held ball. And it will stay at the Irish end of the floor.
That's really good individual defense by Tae Ames. Nobody came to help him.
Yep.
And it was very clear that Alako was trying to get it down in there. But again, there's only 3.5 left on the shot clock.
Yep. See how this possession resolves itself. Inbounds quickly. Now Burton slides through, and they tried to bounce it out, and it hit the foot. And there's 1.1 on the shot clock.
Wow. There's going to be 20 now.
Yep, on the kick.
That is a big break for Notre Dame.
Yep.
But that's sort of the way the game has gone for the Cavaliers up to this point.
Feels that way, right? Alako.
Notre Dame just looks very comfortable on this end of the court.
Yeah, the ball movement still pretty crisp. Here is Davis. Skips out. Kebajai, high arcing three. Good. How about Kebajai knocking down his 5th three of the year? And that's 10 now for Notre Dame, and the 5th time they've done that this year, hit 10 or more. The lead has gone to 17, and Cofie can't answer.
Well, Jai doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he makes a pretty high percentage.
There's Davis, a shot fake, draws the foul, and we're going to get free throws for Tae Davis. The foul will be on Jacob Cofie. It'll be his second, the first on Virginia. And the freshman from Seattle sends Tae Davis to the line, where he had 7 in the first half.
Well, after that last Virginia miss, Notre Dame was able to get out in transition. And Davis, with his attacking tendencies, is really hard to guard in transition.
Quick reminder, ESPN2 Monday night, big women's basketball matchup. Tahina Pow, number 2 South Carolina. They're on the Rocky Top to see 17th ranked Tennessee. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. And again, like most every arena, bacon is the reward for another Tae Davis miss. Nope.
They don't give bacon away everywhere. Someplace they give cookies away.
Here is bacon.
Here it's bacon.
Yeah,
yes,
bacon.
it is.
Yep. And some people even come dressed as bacon.
Well,
disappointed you didn't do that tonight, Dan.
Well, I'm sorry. You're going to have to live with your disappointment.
McNeely thought about it. Back for Rhodey. 18-point lead for Notre Dame. Trying to win on the road for the first time in 11 months. Rhodey a triple. And Konstantinovsky pulls it off. Nikita, the grad transfer from the Ukraine, and played last year at Monmouth. He'll take the pass and travel. So that'll get us to a timeout. Irish with a big lead. We're on 3-point shots.
Well, they sure did, Wes. They're getting great movement without the basketball. They're getting the ball inside, causing the defense to collapse. Guys are open from 3.
You see the first and second half numbers. That's right, 50% from 3. They are 10 of 20 from behind the line.
Wes, they're shooting 50% from behind the line, 36% from inside the line. So they're doing anything they want on the offensive end.
Yep. And Virginia's only consistent answer tonight has been Isaac McNeely.
And he has not scored in the second half.
Yeah, the Cavaliers only have 4 points here in the second half.
Both jump shots by Cofie.
Ron Gruber helping us do a little housekeeping here at the table. Very kind of him. And front court comes Tae Ames. against Markus Burton. Nikita Konstantinovsky stays in the ball game to play the post. He'll get a foul off the ball on Matt Alacco, the grad transfer from Princeton, who, by the way, I mean, interesting to hear Micah Shrewsbury talk about the fit in the transfer portal that Alacco is.
Yes.
Does everything they expected of him and has been a key contributor, especially during Burton's absence. Sir Muhammad wears jersey number 4 for the Irish. The freshman is back on the floor the first time in the second half. Baseline Rhodey with 4 to shoot. Fall away on Alacco, and Konstantinovsky pulls away the rebound. There's Nikita's strength right around the rack. Defense and rebounding.
Notre Dame's defense has done a nice job keeping Virginia out of the lane for the most part.
Muhammad rolls into the lane against Buchanan and scores. Sir Muhammad on the board. And for the 7th time this year, Virginia faces a 20-point deficit.
Well, that's a tough defensive matchup for Buchanan.
Rhodey skips it across from McNeely. Now Rhodey slashes through. McNeely tees up a 3, and it rattled out. Robinson tried to battle Konstantinovsky, and it will stay with Virginia. But let's go back to the freshman, Sir Muhammad. Dan?
Well, Muhammad he's listed as a guard, Wes, and he's a kid with some skills, and they were looking to him to maybe help be one of their point guards, and so that's a really hard matchup for the 6'10 Buchanan.
But Micah Shrewsbury probably smiling a little bit because Muhammad put it on the deck and looked to score.
Yeah.
Said he'd play in games and he'd share the ball, maybe unnecessarily at times, if you ever believe that in college basketball. Here's Robinson inside. He'll draw the foul. And Muhammad late on the rotation defensively.
Wes, and one of the reasons that Notre Dame's defense has been so good is they've kept Virginia out of the lane, and these are Virginia's first free throws of the game.
Yep, and they belong to Anthony Robinson. And this redshirt freshman from Peachtree City at the free throw line. And the first one drops in for Robinson. Don't forget, tomorrow, 3 ladies games on the card on the ACC network. North Carolina hosts Florida State at noon. BC Wake Forest at 2. There's a gymnastics break for the meet between Stanford and Pitt. We'll wrap it up with number 20 NC State and Virginia Tech at 6 on ACC network, streaming live on the ESPN app. 1 of 2 at the line for Robinson.
If you're Virginia, you need some stops.
Yep. Here is Davis on the drive into traffic against Buchanan. 10 to shoot for Alacco. And going to get a hand check and a foul. I think that's McNeely, and it will be. That'll be just the 2nd foul of the half on Virginia, and the 1st on the junior from Polka, West Virginia, the former Dot, if you will, Isaac McNeely. Yes, his high school nickname was Dots, Polka Dots. Alacco waiting on Shrewsbury to round off the screen. 6 to shoot. Robinson helping out at distance. Here's Davis. 3 to shoot. Floater with a right hand, too strong, and Anthony Robinson clears the rebound.
Okay, you got your stop, Wes. Now you got to start climbing back in. You've got to be able to score.
Ames flashes. Can't get through. Reroutes. Here's Robinson turning with the right hand. He lost it on the way up. And Notre Dame the other way with a 19-point lead. 7 minutes gone in this second half at JPJ tonight in Charlottesville. Cavaliers have won 38 of their last 44. They're 2-2 in home ACC play. Losses to Louisville and SMU. Alacco rolling into traffic. Back rim miss. Konstantinovsky slapped it out. Alacco will give Notre Dame another opportunity.
That's really tough on your defense, Wes. You play really hard for almost the entire shot clock, and now you give them 20 more.
Alacco against Robinson. Bounce pass. Nikita the catch and layup. Konstantinovsky who didn't have any points in 12 minutes the other day at Syracuse, is on the board, and the lead is 21. And we'll take a break in Charlottesville. Notre Dame has not seen Virginia hit from the floor in the last 6 minutes. .1 lead for Notre Dame. Boy, and after a week off, Markus Shrewsbury's got to feel pretty good about the way his team's played here in the first 28 minutes of the ball game tonight.
Well, you hate having a week off after you lose, and so to come out and play like this after that week off certainly makes you feel a lot better. And again, this is Notre Dame and Virginia sort of teams in the same position in the standings. This is a very important game. It's not like it's going to determine the ACC championship, but it might determine who doesn't make the ACC tournament.
Yeah, this is, you're going to hear a current theme about the bottom of the ACC. We'll talk about it next when we continue. Well, this is the first year of 18 teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and of course the tournament in Charlotte at Spectrum Center will only feature 15 of the 18. So we're going to spend part of the month of February looking at the bottom 9 of the ACC. And Dan, you don't want to say anybody's out, but BC on overtime loss today in Chapel Hill. That hurt a little bit. Miami later tonight in Berkeley against the Golden Bears. NC State fell today. Notre Dame and Virginia, they're trying to get north tonight. That's why this ball game, in some ways, they feel a little momentum. Certainly the Cavaliers did after the win against BC. Markus Shrewsbury coming off a week-long break. It's interesting to see how all of this is going to be played out until we get to Charlotte.
Well, right at the moment, Virginia has the tiebreaker over NC State at 2-6 because they've beaten NC State. And
of course, that is the only meeting this year between the Wolfpack and the Cavaliers, so head-to-head. By the way, Jacob Cofie's knocked down the free throw. He's now got 8 in the ball game.
Well, McNeely still hadn't scored in the second half.
Yep. Irish have tried to take the Cavaliers number 11 out of play here after a red-hot first half. Davis in traffic with a right hand and got the roll. Tae Davis, 4th field goal of the night. Double figures for Davis now. Virginia's missed their last 6 shots. They haven't had a field goal in the last 7 minutes. The lead 21 for Notre Dame. Buchanan. Here's Saunders, who's been very quiet. Pull-up jumper, rolled off.
And that's one of the reasons for Virginia's offensive struggles is Saunders is a guy who has to produce for them, and he only has 2 points tonight.
J.R. Konechny, who had a really good game against the Cavaliers a year ago, into the ball game. Shrewsbury, and down the lane goes Burton. Floater good for Markus Burton with 17. Those are his first points of the second half.
Now, he's made some threes today, but that's, I think, the best part of his game. And look at that. Virginia now, they came into the game with 17 scoring droughts of 330 or more. So 2 in this game.
Yep, Notre Dame with another run, double figures wise.
It's hard to win if you can't score, Wes.
Yep. That part hadn't changed much, and there's a bump and a foul on Burton. Second on the sophomore from Mishawaka. And the 4th on the Irish. Day-Day Ames comes back. Tane Murray going to get in the lineup. Buchanan and Rhodey sit down for Ron Sanchez.
And Markus Shrewsbury told us earlier today when they went back to work during their week off, they spent the first couple of days working on nothing but their defense, and I think that has really paid off for them.
Long 3 by McNeely, bounding high. And Davis with the rebound. Start looking at Tae Davis's numbers. You can see why he's a candidate for the ACC's most improved player. He's really done a good job. There goes Burton on the drive. We're going to get a foul on Ames. That'll be his third on the Cavaliers. And half 2.
That's Ames' first foul since early in the game, where he picked up 2 early fouls, and I think that sort of hurt the Virginia defense. They weren't able to be quite as aggressive. And boy, but Davis, you talk about aggressive. He's a guy who really likes to get the ball and go to the basket.
Burton out front, working against Ames. Now Shrewsbury pushes a 3 away. And McNeely the long rebound for the Cavaliers. 9.5 to play. Cofie thought about it. Virginia needs buckets. Saunders for Cofie. Oh, dumped on the 3, tried to drive for the 2. Saunders will follow the miss. Second field goal for Elijah Saunders.
Well, the problem for the Cavaliers, Wes, is not only do they need stops and baskets, but they need stops and baskets quickly.
Yep.
You know, this is not a defense that's designed to force a lot of turnovers, but they could use some turnovers right now.
Burton back into the traffic for Jai, knocked away. Murray couldn't get to it. It'll stay with the Irish. .3 on the shot clock. Konechny on the spot throw in. Lob, and we're going to get a foul on Cofie, and
it's going to be a flagrant foul.
Yeah, Jerry Heater's already whistled the flagrant foul on Cofie. That'll be his 3rd. That'll be the 4th on Virginia. So Keba Jai will shoot a pair of free throws here.
Well, this is a situation where Jai goes up for the basket, and Cofie just grabs him by the arm and pulls him down. I mean, this is really an easy one. I mean, he's not making any sort of a play on the ball at all.
Free throw good.
And remember, the flagrant foul penalty, it's 2 shots and the ball.
Yeah. Keba Jai started his college career with Markus Shrewsbury at Penn State. Came over in the portal when Shrewsbury took the job in South Bend. And One of my favorite quotes a year ago. Markus Shrewsbury said, Kebajai, one of his most important jobs with our team at Notre Dame is to spread the gospel. And you know what? In today's college basketball, Dan, he's got a really good point.
Well, keep in mind that last year, Notre Dame returned, what was it, 1.6% of their points?
That's correct, yeah.
So they were all new.
This year they returned 85%. They're #1 in the ACC in production returning. There's Davis, a nice floater for the bucket. Tae Davis now 5.5 a dozen in the ball game. And the Burton injury, quite honestly, sidetracked him.
Yeah, you know, nobody talks about the fact, they say, oh, Notre Dame lost these games, and they don't get any credit, if you will, for losing the games with Burton out of there.
Yeah.
But it did derail them.
Here's Burton on a steal. McNeely to beat. Markus Burton will take it down and lay it in easily. 19 now for Burton.
Virginia really doesn't have anybody who take the ball and beat you off the dribble like Burton. They don't have a Burton on their team, and that has really affected them.
Ahead of 8 minutes to go tonight in Charlottesville, and Notre Dame in front by 27. All right, big night at Neville Arena down at Auburn. And, of course, Brian Custer and Richard Hendricks standing by tonight in Fayetteville for the Sooners and the Hogs as Saunders scores for the Cavaliers. here tonight in Charlottesville, and draws the foul on Cavaliers. Second on Jai and the fifth on the Irish here in the second half.
That's a pretty good inbound pass, and we mentioned that Saunders has been very, very quiet tonight. He tried to dunk that one in, and nice job. Not panicking, but to recover and lay it in, and now missed the opportunity for the three-point play.
So Saunders, who'd averaged 14.5 and 8 in his last two ball games, has but 4 here tonight. And a pretty steep climb here for Virginia. And we're going to get an offensive foul on Jai, trying to set the ball screen on the pass toward Konechny.
Wes, it would be a pretty steep climb for anybody at this point in the game, but remember, this is a Virginia team that traditionally does not play quickly.
Yeah. And that's kind of where Virginia was in Tony Bennett's administration, and that pillar hasn't changed much at all, Dan, with Ron Sanchez.
Here's what we're talking about, that right there at the top, that 353 and pace of play. That team won the national championship. So this is traditional Virginia basketball, but it works very well when you're ahead. It's really hard when you're behind by 25.
Yep.
With 7.5 to go.
That's where the Cavaliers find themselves now, as we see Notre Dame with Julian Roper, the second, back on the floor here for the first time. Alako tried to skip it to the corner for Davis, turned over by the Irish. And here is Rhodey. They quickly move it for Saunders. A three ball and good. Elijah Saunders, it's his 23rd three of the year. He's got 7 in the ball game.
He actually is a very high percentage three-point shooter. He doesn't shoot many of them.
Yeah, for 6'8", 240. Transfer from San Diego State. Here goes Roper. Trying to squeeze inside. That'll be an offensive foul on Roper. His first. That'll be the 7th on Notre Dame, but no free throws. 5th turnover on the Irish. Don't forget, big Monday coming up. Women's basketball, number 2 South Carolina, number 17 Tennessee from Knoxville. Tip time at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and always available for you on the ESPN app. Tahina Paopao and Dawn Staley's team. The only marker, the loss to UCLA. Cofie at the foul line, and he rolls in for it. Jacob Cofie in double figures now. Freshman from Seattle. Konstantinovsky. Sir Muhammad, now Alako back on the floor. There's Markus Burton. 8 to shoot for the Irish. Micah Shrewsbury tells 3 to go to work. Oh, he pivoted at the foul line, almost lost it, got deflected, and blocked with the shot clock going down. That'll be a shot clock violation on the Cavaliers, or on the Irish, thanks to Virginia's good defense.
It's not often you have 2 shots blocked on the same guy has 2 shots blocked on the same possession.
Yeah. Last year they had 25 of those. Their average since 2018 has been 27. Dan, that's just 8 this year for the Cavaliers.
Now, this is a Cavalier team that still plays very good defense, but they're not elite defensively as they have been. Burton limps over to the sideline.
And we'll keep an eye on Markus Burton with Nixon Dorvillian at the Notre Dame bench. Out front, here's Cofie, a high arcing 3 that's good. Jacob Cofie leads Virginia in scoring. It's a 10-0 run by the Cavaliers to cut it down to 17. And with 5:41 to go, a timeout taken here after Cofie drops home another three-pointer.
Cofie comes in shooting 23% from out there on the season. And so I think if you're Notre Dame, you're comfortable with him taking that shot from out there. But I think Micah Shrewsbury was upset with the fact that nobody came to pressure him at all.
Yeah.
Even a 23% free throw shot, three-point shooter, give him that much time and room, he's going to shoot a little higher percentage.
And Markus Burton
going to the locker room
is headed toward the Notre Dame locker room here. And remember now, he missed 7 games earlier in the year. He was injured in the Rutgers game November 26th and did not come back for about 5 weeks, reappearing against North Carolina in South Bend on January 4th.
Wow, now this looks like it's going to be a big win for Notre Dame, but that would be a really tough way to get it if you lose Burton.
Yep. The Irish play Tuesday night, by the way, at Purcell Pavilion against Georgia Tech, who is going to have had a 6-day break in their calendar since the win against Virginia Tech Wednesday night in Atlanta.
And Georgia Tech, another one of those teams that's sort of in the same position as Notre Dame and Virginia.
Shrewsbury with 5, lost the handle on it. Now for Davis, strong to the basket, missed the shot. Rhodey, the rebound for Virginia. 17-point game. Cavaliers got to hurry. Here goes Murray to the basket, missed the layup. And Braden Shrewsbury brings it quickly front court, and Locko now will direct this offense.
If you're Notre Dame, you want to keep moving the ball. You want to keep moving the players. You don't need to move as quickly as you did before, but you don't want to lose your momentum by taking the air out of it.
Now here's Muhammad, who is a pretty good ball handler, and that time Davis got it knocked away, and here goes Ames. Over dribbled maybe once, gets it to Saunders. Back for the trailing Cofie. McNeely waiting at the table. Lob. Cofie can't finish. Konstantinovsky the rebound.
Virginia got a steal, Wes, and had an advantage in transition, but Notre Dame got back, and so what could have been a possible layup for Virginia ends up a contested shot.
Irish have gone 4 minutes without a field goal here, Dan, but still a 17-point lead. Shrewsbury, Konstantinovsky. Second field goal good.
He's not going to hurt you from anywhere except close to the basket, but he catches the ball nicely in there.
Yep.
That was a nice little lofted shot.
Out front, here's Tae Ames teeing up a lefty three that rattles in. 13th three of the year for Darren Sylvester Ames Jr. Burton is on his way back from the locker room and actually into a little soft jog behind the scorer's table, which is good to see. There's Markus. And that'll get us to a timeout. We get a front court stoppage of play. Irish by 16 when we continue from Charlottesville. Absolutely, from Fayetteville. Thank you, Kevin. Those two teams also trying to make a move in the SEC, Dan. Oklahoma and Arkansas. Markus Burton has returned to the lineup, and Micah Shrewsbury needs a quick timeout. That's next with Brian Custer and Richard Hendricks from Bud Walton Arena. On a night where Virginia has seen Notre Dame come off a bye week, if you will, in their ACC schedule, and the Irish have knocked down 10 threes in 21 tries, and Notre Dame on verge of winning on the road in the ACC for the first time since last February when they beat Louisville. Cards are a different cup of tea, by the way, this year than they were a season ago. But Dan, as we said at the top, both these teams are looking to continue momentum. Notre Dame's schedule, we've already mentioned Tuesday night. Damon Stoudemire brings the Jackets to South Bend, and then you see the four after that. I got to believe Notre Dame feels like they got a chance to make some ground here.
I think so too, Wes. These are teams that are all sort of on the same level as Notre Dame. It's not like you don't see Duke and Clemson and Louisville lined up there. Now, that doesn't mean they'll win the games, but if they play like this, they got a shot in all those.
Yeah, Blue Devils, by the way, went to 9-0 today with the win at Winston-Salem against Wake Forest. And a big game Tuesday night on ACC Network in the ACC with Wake visiting Louisville. Those are two of the four top teams. There's Shrewsbury, a three that's good.
And I think that game is a much bigger game for Wake Forest than it is for Louisville. With all these bracket projections you see, Wake Forest has gotten themselves buried by the net measurement. And a win against a Louisville team in Louisville would really help the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Pretty encouraging second half for Jacob Cofie here, Dan. Cofie now has got 13 and a half and 15 in the ball game. He's actually just taken the Virginia scoring lead from Isaac McNeely.
Now, McNeely has yet to score in the second half, and it's possible that the Notre Dame defense has adjusted and they think, okay, we have a lead. It's much better if Cofie gets two at a time than McNeely starts getting three at a time. So that's not to diminish anything Cofie has done.
McNeely the foul, 6 now on Virginia, but the lead still 17 for the Irish, and Davis on the drive and gets his own rebound, can't score it, and there'll be a foul call from the perimeter, and that's on the Cavaliers' Elijah Saunders.
Wes, that is a perfect example of the skill level of Tae Davis. He went in there was a lot of contact, he missed the shot, but he bounced back up before the other two Virginia guys were able to, and got the ball again and drew the foul. He has really developed into some kind of player.
You start looking at his numbers a year ago in the ACC. Free throw by Davis, no good. His numbers have improved marginally in each of the core categories, especially on the offensive end. Coaches would be the one to have to tell you where he's grown defensively. And the second one good to keep the bacon at bay for the Cavalier faithful.
Well, Wes, he got that, he was off balance when he landed after missing that shot, but he was able to recover quicker than the Virginia guys.
Saunders off a behind-the-back pass from McNeely missed the three. And we go up on 2 minutes now to play in the ball game, and a comfortable 18-point lead for Notre Dame.
Well, Isaac McNeely kept the game close for a while, but then Notre Dame was just able to pull away. I mean, great ball movement, great player movement. They made threes.
Fall away. Burton no good. McNeely, by the way, was 5 of 7 from the floor in the first half. He's 0 for 3 here in the second half. There's Tae Murray. He'll knock down a three. That's just his 9th of the year. And his first points of the night. Murray, a senior from Auckland in the North Island of New Zealand. Scratching for Ron Sanchez. Don't forget, coming up, bottom of the hour here in just moments. On the other side, about 6 minutes away now over on ESPN, it's #1 Auburn welcoming #6 Tennessee to Neville Arena tonight on the Plains. Jay Billis, Dan Schulman, and Jess Sims standing by for coverage tonight over on ESPN. Well, Markus Burton ACC Rookie of the Year a season ago, thought about the draft. And to be honest with you, he came back. And Dan, he's making the rest of the ACC pay for it.
Well, he sure is, Wes. And what you see, he's made threes today. He's had that signature driving into lane for the jump shot. And then he just really good instincts on defense. That was an easy one.
Yep. So Burton, who came in averaging nearly 19 points a game in the regular season, he does not factor into the ACC scoring honors because he's not appeared in enough ball games where they average your field goals made per game. If he were eligible, he'd be second in the league.
When you see they're 4 for 6 shooting threes tonight, and in ACC play, he came in as an almost 40% shooter from out there.
Yep.
But in ACC games, Wes, he came in only having made 9 threes, so he made almost half of the number of threes that he made in his previous 5 games tonight.
Yep, and he's a guy who, when we get to the midway point, midweek in the ACC, he's going to be a guy you're going to look at and say he's one of the 5 best players in the league when he's on the floor.
Well, Wes, and that him making 4 threes tonight, that is a danger signal to the rest of the ACC with as quick as he is and as hard as you have to work to keep him from getting by you. If he's going to be able to shoot threes like that, that's going to make him really tough to guard.
Dan, that's an 8% markup from where he was a year ago behind the line. And he fouled by Saunders in the backcourt. So Markus Burton will go to the line here. And a chance to add a couple of free throws. He had 28 last Saturday and lost at Syracuse. And he spins out the front end of the 1-and-1.
Well, Wes, that Syracuse game was really weird. He made 10 of his first 15 shots and then only 2 of his last 11. Notre Dame had a big lead and let it slip away.
McNeely can't buy one in the second half. Burton will bring it front court. Notre Dame trying to break 70 points in this building. Talk about joining an elite list. Only 2 other teams have done it in the last 65 games. And the Irish on the verge of doing it here tonight. Alako, 3 to shoot. Here goes Burton. Kick out for Tae Davis. A 3-ball. Good. And Tae Davis puts the Irish over 70 points.
Well, Davis only shoots about 25% from out there, but that's the way the game has gone for Notre Dame tonight.
Final minute to go. Ames, the lefty 3. 8 now for Tae Ames. 15-point game at 72-57, and Markus Shrewsbury's team can feel pretty good about getting their 3rd ACC win here tonight.
Well, coming off that week off after a loss, this really has to be a get-better game for Notre Dame, a feel-good game, and it really was.
Burton on the drive. His 18th career 20-point game for Markus Burton tonight. He's now had 20 or more in 4 straight and 5 of his last 6. Cofie in the final 5 seconds. And a nice second half for Jacob Cofie, but it's going to come in a losing effort because the Irish are going to win by a final of 74-59, and Dan, in doing so, Notre Dame is going to beat Virginia at John Paul Jones Arena.